Hey everybody, welcome back. These are some people ruining their friendships in 10 seconds or less.
And my best friend breakup story time is probably my craziest and most hard story to tell, and I've waited a very long time to tell this story. To be honest, I was never going to tell this story, and then I decided last night while I was about to work out, this Wellbutrin got me wanting to tell the story. I met this girl in middle school. I met her when we were really young, and to me, she always came across like a twat. But I came across like a twat too, so I was like, maybe we'll be best friends. Like, you seem so cool, but I'm too nervous to talk to you. Anyways, then we had English together. We both hated the teacher. We both never shut up. And so we would like giggle at each other's jokes and then be silent. But then one day, it was like the last day of school. And then she came up to me and was like, do you want to go to Starbucks? And I was like, yeah, I do want to go to Starbucks. We went to Starbucks. And then after that, we hung out every single day of our lives up until the time we were 22. We had maybe 1 year in our lives where we weren't really friends. And then it was right back to it every single day, all day. I would show pictures of us to prove how we were literally dating essentially, but I really don't want you guys to figure out who this is. I'm gonna be so honest, it's so hard to talk positively of her right now because I do not with her. But to be frank, I did think she was like literally my soulmate in friends form. Like we would always tell each other that we were each other's soulmates. We were literally in love with each other. If I was going somewhere, she was coming. If she had a doctor's appointment, I was taking her to it. If she needed somewhere to sleep, I was having her sleep over. If she needed a bed, I gave her like 3 beds. However, babe, it was toxic because at a certain point I was getting taken advantage of. She was telling all my deepest, darkest secrets to other friends. And then she became friends with my partner. They worked together and they got really, really close, and it was cool for me at first because I was like, oh my god, they work together, like how cutesy pootsy is that? No, it's not cutesy pootsy, babe. It gets funky fast. I was like lying to him, telling him that I was cheating on him, and of course he's gonna believe her because that's like my best friend. Like, why? I also told her that I was struggling with my ED again, very much in confidence, and she told him at work. I bet you're thinking, oh wow, that's shady. Even more shady, she started to fall in love with him. One night on Halloween, I like was starting to catch the vibes, because you catch the vibes, babe. You know when someone is like feeling your man. She had gotten really freaking drunk on Halloween night and then was like, where is blah blah blah, I need blah blah blah, blah 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 being my man. And then when he went over to her because he felt sympathy for her because she was really drunk, she held his hand and stared him in the eyes, and I remember being like, oh, I'm going to
in front of
myself.
you?
I blatantly asked her like, are you feeling my man? And she's like, no. Well, she was. I won't go into detail, but just know that she was. I ended up getting her fired on purpose because I was being petty. And immediately after, I ended up blowing up on TikTok and making this my full-time job. Obviously, that's not the entire story, but I emotionally can't really handle talking about the entire story yet. Friendship breakups are really hard, and like it affected how I looked at friends for a long time. But it made me a better person, so hey.
Friendship breakups are arguably harder than relationship breakups. You know what I mean? It's not as easy to break up with a friend. It's almost like they're your family and it's very hard. You put up with a lot. You know what I'm saying? We put up with a lot for the friendships. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of like there's never an official like kind of breakup text or breakup call, breakup meeting. We're not just going to get together and be like,
hey, just so you know, this isn't working for me anymore.
You kind of just let it fade away. Maybe there's a blowout fight, but it's hard. It's hard to come to terms with the fact that you're no longer friends with this person. Have you guys ever had like a friend breakup, like a breakup fight or like a breakup moment? To me, it's always been kind of like passive aggressive. There was one time where there was for sure like a breakup. There's always a moment after the breakup where the friend goes and like assesses the situation and which of the friends she can turn to their side. And also, why is it always the people that like you knew this was gonna happen to, like you kind of had a feeling all along? Why do we put up with it? I don't know. For your friendship, friends forever. Like you try to say,
Oh, we're soulmates. Oh, we're besties.
no, you're not, babe. You're frenemies. Get real.
Time my roommate and I were taking a shortcut down an alley, which is never a great idea, but we thought it's the middle of the day, what's the worst thing that could happen? And then this huge dog came charging down the alley as if it was going to attack us. And before I had any time to respond, my quick-thinking, apocalypse-ready roommate shoved me in front of the dog. She pushed me to the ground and ran the other way.
Absolutely
and the
not.
dog was coming straight towards me, but all I could think was that if I'm still alive when we get home, I'm gonna spit in her shampoo. No, I'm gonna pee on her towel. I'm gonna do something bad to her. And then the owner of the dog came out and tackled the dog and pinned it to the ground and said, sorry, he's actually a really sweet dog.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I was like, Really? Because the fact that you just went full MMA on it indicates to me that you also thought that he was going to kill me. And then my roommate got angry with me for being angry with her for pushing me in front of a dog. She called me overly dramatic. And I said, no, I'm being just the right amount of dramatic. You know all my secrets, and I just found out you don't care if I live or die.
Okay, I feel like that is kind of like a crime. You know, you're pushing your friend in front of a raging dog that could attack you. It's really every man for himself, eh? Why do we have to push the friend? Why couldn't we just run away from the dog? Like, why do we have to physically push our friend so that the dog goes for our friend and not us? Why does it have to get to that point? She was all in survival mode. She's like, it's me or her. It's me or her. And it most definitely will not be me. The audacity to be mad at you for you being mad at her. Well, now you know who not to stick with during a zombie apocalypse. Let's get real. During a zombie apocalypse, it is every man for himself. You almost died. Literally, like, I think that this is like, I think she could go to jail. Like, I think she could. That's bad. That's very bad. How is she angry at you because she pushed you in harm's way?
Oh.
How inconvenient.
How inconvenient, you have finally seen my true colors.
I swear, the audacity of some people. Where do they find it? Where do they find the audacity to act like this? Maybe it was there all along, you just didn't see it. That story reminds me of the time where me and my best friend were running away from a dog because we were peeing. I've told this story like so many times, but like, there was no pushing. There was no pushing. There was just pants around the ankles because we were peeing, running into the car. I think she did wait for one of us to get into the car. So that's a good thing, right? Like, she didn't drive away and leave one of us to the dog to be mauled. I think that that means that we're good friends, right? Or is that just basic human decency? I would have left you to be mauled. That's what you deserve. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel this way about me. I just really wish that we could work it out. Like, I honestly think that we just have communication issues, and I think that we could find a way through this shark lot. Like, we really can. Look at us. We have so much in common. Why are we fighting? Good point. It's fun! It's kind of fun. I do live for the drama a little bit, the shark lot drama. It's okay. I'll just brush her hair. Okay. It was worth a shot.
I'm getting ready to enter in a new phase of life. And this new phase of life is based off that situation where I set up a whole entire spa day for my friends, and then they bailed and didn't let me.
Oh, hell no.
They just simply didn't show.
Oh, no.
This new phase of my life is going to be called F around and find the fuck out. I seriously have gone through so many times in my life where you could be planning on coming to my house and tell me that an elephant sat on your car on the way over, and I would have been like, oh my gosh, can I pay for the damages? I am too much of a people pleaser, and I am too nice to people who do not deserve my kindness, my time, and my effort. So, in this new phase of life, if you show me who you are, I'm going to believe you. And I just don't have time for fake people in my life anymore. It just feels like I am giving too much of myself to all of the wrong people. So, fuck around and find the fuck out.
I also have a book recommendation for my people pleasers. Did y'all know that people pleasing is actually a disease? Like, not like a diagnosable disease, but it's like kind of like it's a crippling state of being to constantly feel like you have to please people. So there's a book out there. It's called The Disease to Please. I'm gonna need you to read that book. We gotta stop wanting to please every single person, because the fact of the matter is as this girl said, you can go out of your way to be the nicest person ever, but people will still hurt you. You should still be nice, but don't make it so unbelievably important to be nice to every single person. You know what I mean? Especially when people show you their true colors. Because ironically, while you're worrying about pleasing everybody else, you have the inability to say no, and you're actually not pleasing yourself. Let that sink in. All right, we got a doozy. We got a doozy of a store right here. Okay, get ready. Jesus. I ruined my ex-best friend's career because she chooses to stay with her offender husband, and I don't regret it. I, 27 female, reported my ex-best friend to her job that she was married to a registered offender. 28 male. Oh dear Lord. Okay, all right. In August of 2021, I found out my best friend's husband was arrested on 10 counts. 10 counts of CP. 10 counts of CP. If you don't know what CP is, I can't tell you. You're just gonna have to guess, because we can't talk about it on YouTube. After a year-long investigation, hell to the absolute no. She tried to hide it from me, even went so far as to beg other people not to tell me. But in a world of Facebook, nothing stays hidden for long. I helped my ex-friend get her job at the same school that my daughters attend. Hold on. My daughters are special needs, and she went into the special education department, specializing in helping nonverbal children ages 4 to 10. I now regret ever helping her. How do people like this exist? Like complete contradictions of like each other. You know what I mean? Like, how can you say that you want to dedicate your life to helping children by getting a job in childcare, but then also be married to someone like that? And have since withdrew my letter of recommendation. When I originally confronted her about the arrest, she assured me she never knew anything about it. She was already talking to a divorce lawyer. I was fine with that. At first. 6 months later, I learned from mutual friends she had fired her divorce attorney and intended to stay with him no matter the outcome of the trial. Absolutely not. No. Hell to the no. Her words.
His lawyer is hopeful he will only get probation.
Why is that hopeful? I feel like 10 counts, 10 separate counts of that particular offense might indicate that he could be a menace to society. How do you f that up 10 times? You got an affliction. You got a problem. Let's not make excuses and wish that they could be out of jail. Either she is so blind and being manipulated, or she knew the entire time. In June of 2022, he pled guilty to all 10 counts. In return for his guilty plea, he received 5 years probation and had to become a registered offender. The address he listed is a mile away from my brother's house. I have to pass it to get there, and every time I do, her vehicle is there. I was there when she bought this vehicle. So in August, I learned she would be working in my children's special needs classroom, and that didn't sit well with me. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little hypocritical. That doesn't really make sense. I don't think that somebody like that should be working in childcare. What happens when her husband goes and picks her up from work? I went to the school director with court documents in hand, his paperwork, a photo from their wedding proving the same guy from the registration is the same guy she married to. I had a nice long chat. I simply don't trust her around nonverbal children, that she would have to help in the bathroom in case of accidents. Children who couldn't defend themselves and talk to someone. The week school started, she was removed from the elementary department and has to work in the high school side and will not be working with the special needs department going forward. And I just had confirmation from the school board that her contract for the next year will not be renewed. After 16 years of friendship, I felt guilty I caused her to lose her career at first. But now I feel so happy that the school board listened to me and not only took my side, but the kids' sides, which is who matters in situations like this, the kids. Do it for the kids! Were you in the wrong? I don't know. I don't know if you were. Because I think with stuff like this, people get very passionate, especially when you have children. Is this too petty? Let me know. I don't think so. I think it's the right amount of petty, to be honest.
So, let me tell you a story of how a weekend in Paris ended a 5-year friendship.
Oh, it's always the girls' trips, eh?
So, if you don't know, I have a YouTube channel and I've been making videos on and off on YouTube for some time. And so this girl who watched my YouTube channel and she liked my content and whatnot, you know, she used to message me all the time, showed me so much love and so much support, and I really, really appreciated it. So one day she was just like, hey, let's meet up, whatever. I was like, okay, cool, which is kind of crazy because you really don't supposed to meet people like that, especially when it's like social media like that, you know what I mean? But anyways, we met up and she ended up being a really, really cool chick, and we hang out all the time, and like she would invite me out to her friends' stuff, and I would go, you know, and we formed a friendship, and you know, we would see each other maybe once or twice a year or whatever, you know. I'll go to like, she would invite me to like her boyfriend's birthday, I would go. It was all good and dandy. So like last year we brought the new year in together. 2022 we brought 2022 in together. We was at one of her friends' parties and it was cool, it was nice and fun, whatever. So for my birthday in March, you know, I was like, yeah, I want to do a trip or something, and she was like, yeah, we should just do a trip, go somewhere, go Paris, whatever. I was like, okay, I was already going to Paris for a week, so I was like, do I want to go to Paris again? Like, I was literally in Paris for a week, and then 2 weeks later I was back in Paris again for another weekend. And if you know me, you know how much I love Paris. I'm always in Paris. They should give me a residence permit because I'm always in Paris. So we go to Paris, right? And you know when you travel with someone, like, stuff about them really kind of gets exaggerated. So all the things that annoy you about them really annoys you. You know, like, she was always late. She would show up to date, like, our little meetups and little friendship dates. She would show up late. And I'm not talking about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. She would show up like an hour and a half late. She just had the worst time management, and I find that to be disrespectful, because after a certain age, like, you need to manage your time better. Nobody is gonna, like, no one's your mom. No one needs to be waking you up, telling you when to get ready, when to eat. Like, you need to have your ish together. She was always late. She was always delayed. I was always having to be like, okay, let's go, okay, let's go, okay, let's do this, let's do that. I found her so annoying. Oh my God. And also, she wasn't eating. She'd be like, oh, I'm hungry. We'll go out to eat. She wouldn't eat the food.
What?
We're wasting food. We're Africans. You know, if you're African, you grew up in an African home, you don't waste food. You don't do that, because they tell you there's children back home that ain't got no food, and you're out here wasting all this food. We keep going to all these restaurants and you're not finishing the food. Are you okay? Anyway, so the major part was basically part 2.
Oh God, please tell me there's a part 2. Okay, there is a part 2. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord! I'm so invested. And by the way, for the people that get annoyed about this always coming up, the late thing, there are some of you that are getting very, very triggered about being called out, about being late. It's okay. Just try not to make it a habit. If it's a consistent thing, maybe something you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's glad we're clear. Let's get to part 2.
Part 2 of this story. So basically, she used to be quite big. She was a big girl, very pretty girl. She was a big girl. Then, like, within like 2 years, she lost so much weight, right? But everybody suspected that she had weight loss surgery, but she never told anybody that she had weight loss surgery. So, but you know when, like, yes, I'm gonna go on, okay? Because you was like 112 kilos and now you're like 50 kilos. Unless you're sick. Like, something is up. People don't just lose weight like that. And then you're like, oh, I went to the gym. You didn't go to the gym. Because you can tell when someone goes to the gym and they've lost weight like that. She'll be like, oh, I'm hungry. Let's go out. Okay, let's go and eat. She'll sit there with one plate of like fries and she will not eat the fries. I'm like, we're sitting in this restaurant for like 2 hours and you're not eating the food. Then we go somewhere else and you're hungry again and you don't finish the food. Everywhere we went, she did not finish the food.
What?
It was so annoying. And you know what's the crazy part as well, yeah? Before I went, I had a gut feeling like this trip is not gonna turn out well. Like, I just had a gut feeling, and I don't know why. And I always say, listen to your gut. Like, I believe God is talking to you through some, like, unction.
Yep.
But I see me. I didn't listen. We went on this trip. She was annoying me. I planned everything and all she did was complain. All she did was not show up on time for things. Like, always like wake up late. I'm like, we need to go. Like, we're only here for a weekend. We need to get up. Let's go. She was literally like my child. Everything, it was like up to me to figure it out, to plan it out, to pay, it was the most annoying thing ever. And then on top of that, she would not eat, although she wants to go out to eat all the time. Let's go here to eat. Let's go there to eat. Let's go here to eat. The whole entire day, the last day we was there, she was like, she wants to go and get some shisha or like hookah or whatever you want to call, however you call it in your country. I was like, okay, cool. I'm on my phone, like trying to search for places in Paris that we can get some shisha. I finally find a place and then she doesn't want to go there. I'm like, okay, I found a place. Let's go get some shisha. Don't you want to eat first? And don't you want to get some food first? And I was like, we literally just had food 2 hours ago and you didn't finish it. Why do you want to eat now again? And it's like, the shisha place has food. So if you want food, you can eat. No, but don't you want to go somewhere else to eat? I was so over the trip. Anyways, when we got back to London, basically I said bye to her and I was just like, I need to put this friendship on ice and I really don't want to talk to her. So I didn't speak to her for like 3 months. And when I was ready to talk to her, I found out that I was blocked on IG. So I told her to block my other friend because she doesn't know him. He's my friend. So don't try and be friends with my friends. Okay.
Honestly, listening to this, like, how dumb does it sound? Like, how dumb do the friendship fights sound? They are so dumb. They're so dumb, but yet they resonate so hard. There's just something about them that pisses us off, you know? There's just something about it. You got the spidey senses going, and people are just... To anyone who's going through a friendship struggle, who's gone through a friendship struggle, if you feel that type of way about somebody, if you really couldn't resolve something as simple as this or as simple as what you're going through, unless, you know, obviously they stole your boyfriend or whatever, most of the time it's a dumb miscommunication. Like, let's be honest, every time that you and your friend have a fight or anybody have a fight, it's a miscommunication. And if y'all can't resolve it, y'all weren't meant to be friends. And that's okay. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Sis, guys,